That's how she sees people. When she looks at people, she probably sees kidneys.
What, this doctor?
The woman doctor.
Well, doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So, what you're saying is, the strange thing is that she often spends more time looking in people, because she's a doctor, than chatting to them.
Yeah.
And is it weird that Jonathan Ross is the other way around, because he's a chat show host? He spends more time talking to people than looking inside them.
No, but even when I was
because he's
asking
got a different job.
When I was asking her questions, saying, does it look alright? What's it doing? Is it moving about? Asking her questions about my kidney. She could have quite easily just turned around and give me a bit of eye contact.
But she was say, shut up, I'm concentrating, I'm at work.
looking at the screen in order to answer your questions.
Yeah, she's at work, she's doing something.
No, but just...
If she was here now going, Carl, what are you doing with that microphone? You'd go, shut the fuck up, I'm doing a podcast.
Did she run this scanner over your head? And if so, did she find anything? We'd like to try and educate Carl, Rick, as we have done since we've known him, really, and he doesn't really seem to absorb any information.
No.
And I was asked recently, when I was going back to Bristol, if I would come and talk to a classroom of school children.
Alright.
Just talking about careers, and particularly my career. And I went down there. It was in Bristol. It was an inner city school, quite rough area.
You're a son of Bristol. You're
exactly. They love me.
You're a
down there.
celebrated son of Bristol. You're a Golden Globe winning person who's returned to the homeland.
It annoys me when I go down there that I'm not met as I get off the train like the Beatles used to be when they came back from America.
By a mayor and a brass band.
Hordes of people, ticker tape.
Forever this day will be called Steve Merchant Day.
Exactly. It frustrates me that I just sneak back into town. There's no fanfare.
Yeah.
But basically they asked me to come talk at this school, and I sort of batted them away and said I'm too busy. And so I foolishly left them the opportunity to ask me again, which they did, and I didn't have a decent excuse, so I went. And I was expecting to talk to maybe a room of 6th formers. They were 9. These kids, 9 and 10 years old. But I realised as I was walking into school, I was suddenly really nervous. I was more nervous than anything I've ever done, because I realised that I've not spoken to a child like that since I was a child myself. I've never interacted with them, so I didn't know at what level I would be able to pitch this talk. I didn't know what they understood, what ideas they understood. Obviously, in my mind, I was picturing Carl, and then I was ratcheting it up a few years, sort of IQ-wise. And I went
so what did you talk to them about?
And I was supposed to talk about careers, and I realised very quickly that they didn't really understand conceptual
Did they know you were?
Not really. One or two of them vaguely knew. One of them went, "What's Rick Gervais like?" And I said,
"You got a deep voice."
yeah. Actually, that was one of the teachers. And I'm supposed to be talking about careers, how to get into careers, and I start trying to explain the idea of being a writer, and I say that it's very important to be able to get inside other people's minds, figure out how they think, and how, and trying to understand other people. But this, they didn't really seem to grasp. They started talking amongst each other. They were just losing interest. I lost them straight away. I was devastated.
Oh no.
So then, and this is the worst thing, right? I started lying to them. Because I realised that every time I told a slight lie, because I thought they'd be interested, they were. So
I know Justin Timberlake.
You're not joking, right? They said, one of them said, "I understand you used to be a DJ," and I went, "Yeah, it's great being a DJ because you get to meet pop stars like Robbie Williams and Beyonce." Never met either of them. Never met them. And they went. One of the kids went, "What's Beyonce like?" And I went, joking. I went, "You wouldn't like her." And I said, "No, I'm joking. She's lovely. She's sweet. She's good as gold." I was making it up. But they were loving this, and the teacher was going, "Would you all like to meet Beyonce?" And they were going, "Yeah." And I was thinking, God, well...
I'll bring her down tomorrow.
Well, exactly, but I don't know why I felt it was like I wanted to win the approval of these 9-year-olds.
That's amazing!
Because my own achievements, I realised, wouldn't mean anything to them. I can talk about the people I have met, but they don't care if I've met Robert De Niro, but they're interested if I've met Girls Aloud. Well, me and Girls Aloud, some of the times we've had together, it turns out. But it is fascinating when you have to interact with people, with children like that, because I've got no concept of how to talk to children. To me, I can't grasp the difference really in conversation and chat between, say, a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old. I don't know at what point they learn stuff and pick stuff up. Do they understand? Do you know what I mean? It's
the headmaster, W. Headmaster, used to do a little fable. I've talked about him in stand-up. He used to do a little fable. There's one I remember where he got a tube of toothpaste, and he got someone up. He said, come out here, squeeze this tube of toothpaste out on this board, and he squeezed it all out, right? He squeezed it all out and emptied it. He went, "Now put it back in." And the kid tried to struggle. He goes, "You can't do it." He said, "It's easier to do something than undo it." Okay, go back to class. Like people are going, "Oh, I get it. I know what he means."
Yeah.
They're just thinking, "Don't squeeze all the toothpaste out.
Yeah.
Just save some."
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's no way they're going to take on that
exactly.
metaphor at the
It's
age
too
of 9.
conceptual, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just stop misbehaving or I'll smack you. That worked. Carl, have you had to have any dealings with kids? How do you get on with kids? Do you relate to them? Or are they just as angry and perplexed by your views as we are?
I mean, it's with everything, isn't it? Everyone's different and that. I can get on with some young kids alright, and some of them are, like, you know, a bit cocky and whatever. But I'm sort of getting on with the baby at the moment, because I've been made a godfather.
Think of that.
So,
Wow, who did they reject?
I know.
no, I mean,
Who said no?
Yeah.
How many people said no?
I did at first, and then
Brilliant.
Suzanne said, "Look, it's not really a choice. It's not like a job interview or something that you're thinking about. Is it a good thing? So you've been asked. You should take it on."
But what are they? What if they? Hold on. If you're the godfather of this
Yeah.
kid, presumably you're friends with them, and they probably listen
Yeah,
to this
yeah, they're good
podcast.
friends.
So now they're hearing, for the first time, that you didn't want to be
Yeah,
godfather.
but I think that's good, because they can hear that. It wasn't. I didn't just do it because I was asked. I thought about it. I thought it through. I was worried. It was kind of like, is this a job? And I was just.
Well, it's
asking
nothing
them.
but tokenistic, is it? You're not.
Well,
really
this is what I looked into. I said, we went back and I said, right, I've been thinking about this thing. I've heard that it's my job. If anything happens to them, I've got to kick in. I'd have to start looking after the baby. So I said, right, how many of you are in your family? If that happens, am I going to start getting a phone call or what? And they said, no, there's a big family. You're not, you're at the bottom of the list. So I was like, how many? And just finding out what their age is. And I've only got a small flat. It would have to sleep in the sink or something, right? So I checked all that out, and all safe. So this baby is spooking me out a bit because it doesn't blink, and that's pretty weird when you're sort of talking to it and you're thinking it's not blinking.
Are you sure it's not asleep?
No, it's weird. If something doesn't blink, it's like it's evil. Because blinking just makes something look a bit more friendly, doesn't it? And I was stood there, talking to it. I just tell it little stories about anything. It's lying there looking up at me.
How old is it?
It's must be about 2.5 months.
Well then, why are you telling it stories?
Because it likes it. But it's just weird how, then I'll sort of forget the story because I'm looking at it going, it's not blinked yet. It's been about 10 minutes, it's not blinking. So then I forget the end of the story and I just walk away because it's not bothered anyway. It's probably not listening, is it? But
What a pointless tale! What a pointless tale now and at the time.
I think it likes it. The kids like stories, like you say. They're not bothered if it's not true or anything.
Or if you walk away before the ending because you've forgotten it.
That's
Brilliant.
why it's not blinking. It's so dumbstruck at the idiocy coming out of your gob.
No, but you don't need to hear endings of stories. Maybe, like I said
That's
to
the
you.
point. That's the point of a story. Isn't
No,
it?
it's not.
That's the point why people. That's why people like stories because they're hooked into knowing what happened.
No, because there's loads of films that happen and they have a funny ending. You leave there going, I wonder what's meant to happen. And you make it up in your own head. You go, well, I bet what happened is that person went off and got married to that woman and they lived that.
And then in your head, it's the truth. It's actually what happened.
But I think that's better. Why are we told everything? Because
So what would your end be to a story such as The Elephant Man? Okay, he's rescued from the freak show, he's put in the hospital, he becomes something of a celebrity, then what happens?
He discovered he had big ears and he could fly, and he joined the circus and he was the main attraction.
I wouldn't change the end that much because at the end of the day, you can't make something up that's not believable. At the end of the day, he's got an head like an elephant. He's not going to have a good life, is he? So there's no point making out that he went on, loads of women fancied him, and he modelled hats. It's not going to happen. So he's got to die. The Elephant Man had to die, but at the same time,
Was shot by poachers
just show
for his tusk.
show a few positives, because I'm sure there was good bits in his life. I don't know what they were, but look at everything.
What was he like when he was a little baby elephant?
They didn't cover what he was like as a kid, but you can get away with them sort of looks when you're a baby. You can be an ugly baby and everyone goes, oh, isn't it nice? There was some woman in a cafe the other week that I was sat in, and she came up and she sat down with her mate and she was talking loudly, going on about, oh, the baby's lovely. They said it's got lovely big eyes, really big hands and feet. Now that doesn't sound like a nice baby to me. I felt like saying it sounds like a frog, but I thought, I don't know her. There's only so much you can say to a stranger. I don't know what kept me from saying it. That's what I was saying before about there's something.
It sounds like a frog.
There's something inside of you that stops you.
Yeah, that's amazing that you had the urge to go. That doesn't sound like a good baby. What, love? I'm just listening to conversation. That baby you're talking about sounds like a fucking frog.
Yeah, but something stopped him saying it.
I just came back from America, and they love Halloween.
They're obsessed over there.
I mean, it's a proper thing out there. Here, it's sort of half-hearted. A few people, a few middle-class families, sort of.
But do you think it'll get more popular here, though, if we do find out that ghosts are about?
Well, that'll never happen because they're not.
No,
okay?
but if they did, then suddenly that would be a big.
Well,
big day.
America makes things famous now because of film culture and everything. So, yeah, it's all from that. I doubt we celebrated much at all, did we, 50 years ago? So I think it's crept up.
Certainly over here we didn't, but it's been largely introduced over here through commercial ideas, isn't it? We can sell stuff for
and film and things like that. And they start like weeks and weeks before, and they're decorated like proper. And but I saw a little bakery in Soho, and it didn't look right with cobwebs all over it and spiders on the buns.
Yeah.
But even though it's fake, it's just I don't think you should do it on a bakery. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's a bit creepy.
That surely puts you off the product a little bit.
I always find it a bit depressing. Like last time, I remember going into supermarkets and you see sort of these old women who you know, in their 60s, and they're doing this job they don't really want to be doing, but they've been made to dress up
as a hat. I know,
as a witch or as Cinderella, and it just.
Well, they could do it in like a morgue or something, just to sort of
brighten up the place.
Well, just so people aren't that scared.
Imagine that. Imagine you're going to identify your dead relative, and they go, "What's the spiders all over?" It's 31st October.
No,
okay.
But just make it a bit spookier and have a bit of fun with it, and let's not get serious about, you know, like I say, passing on.
Yeah, but those sort of people have to take their job seriously. I remember when my mum died, and I had to go along, and I was talking about what wreath they wanted, and this person, quite rightly, had to turn off their sense of humour in a way, because I suppose they mustn't offend anyone. So they spoke like that at all times.
Yeah.
At all times. Okay, and what would you like the wreath to say? She was a mother and a grandmother. I went, yeah, mother, grandmother. And what was her name? I said, her name was Eva. I said, and I made a joke. I said, do we get a discount because her name's short? And she went, well, actually, didn't laugh, didn't get that at all. She just went, just answer the question. She went, well, actually, you pay by the letter. I thought, okay, that fell flat. I'll go again. I went, well, her friends used to call her E.
Yeah.
I went, I'm joking. She went, okay. Nothing.
Yeah.
Bad audience. Bad time, bad audience. Tough crowd.
Yeah, Undertaker's never known for their...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They don't crack jokes, Carl. A friend of mine was trained to be a doctor, and in his first year, when they practice, they intern at the hospital, he was watching this patient, and two other doctors came in, and I won't say his name. They said, can you go and check on Mr. So-and-so? He went, yeah, and change his drip. So he went in, changed his drip, came back out. The doctors came, after about 10 minutes, they came running and said, what did you do? What did you do? And they went in there and said, I just changed the drip. He goes, well, he's dead. He's dead. And he was going, I just changed the drip. I did this and that. And they started laughing. He goes, no, he was dead when we sent you in there.
Yeah. Now, that is almost excusable, because it's imperative if you're a doctor
Absolutely.
to become accustomed to
Yeah.
the fact that people die and that it's,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah. So they were making a joke about a dead body that means nothing to them other than professionally.
Yeah.
You know, they were getting through it. He thought he'd just murdered someone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, he thought he just killed someone. But yeah, they have to be desensitised. But they wouldn't do that in front of the relatives. They wouldn't go. I had a laugh earlier with a young intern. When your dad died, we sent him in to change the drip. Didn't even check. It was quite good. Anyway, let's get him out of here.
No, but they do have a laugh. I heard about a doctor who was working on a brain, right? And apparently, when they work on the brain, it's best is to keep you awake because you know, just so you can go, that hurts a bit, and they go, oh, we best not touch that bit again.
That's
Right.
the reason. Rick.
Amazing.
That's the reason.
No, there's
It's amazing.
certain operations, isn't there, where they go, you know, we can knock you out for that, but for this one we want to know.
It's probably because the
You're
brain needs to be
Activity.
active in order to
Yeah, they
identify
show
the thing.
activity,
But
yeah,
sure,
that's-
yeah, no,
so
it's
anyway-
actually so you can wake up and go, yeah, no, that hurt.
That
That stings. Hell, that stings. Don't pop that in there.
You can't feel anything in the brain anyway. No nerve endings.
Really?
You
What?
can't feel it, can you?
Well, maybe there's another reason. But anyway, his head's open. He's sat on this chair. The doctor's going.
I reckon he was laying down.
I thought he was laying down, but in your world, he's not. He's sat on a hard-backed.
I think it's more
dining
like
chair.
in front of a mirror, like a hairdresser type thing, right? And he's cut the skin off.
So
Like-
get a bit shorter there.
so he's
So for the weekend, sir?
he's
I won't be shagging with no brain.
anyway. So he's cut the skin off, and you know, chopped a bit. And you're always going to get bits, aren't you? Sort of. Whenever you cut anything, you end up with a bit missing. But anyway, somehow he does the brain stuff. He fixes it. I don't know what he was doing, but
Don't you?
he
You don't
fixed
know
it.
about. You don't know
You don't
about
know
that.
the intricacies of brain surgery. That I find perplexing.
So you're not a neurosurgeon. I don't want. Oh, okay.
So they
Go on.
sorted out the problem, right?
Mm.
And he goes, right, all we've got to do now is stick the head bit back on.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, by the way. The
Oh,
head
this
bit.
happened. This happened.
Yeah, the head bit's connected to the face bit.
So he sticks.
Nurse, head bit. Doctor, do you need leg bit? Not yet, nurse. Head bit, then leg bit.
So they stuck the head bit back on, and then
Can you pass me the sharpie thing?
he was trying to sew it, and he was going, "This isn't fitting. This." He's going, "I don't know." And you know, like because the
Right, if this turns out that it's
Someone else's head.
or
No.
a toupee from the doctor next to him,
Yeah.
or a cat. Meow!
No, it's-
You've sewn a cat to my brain.
It's none of that. He's trying to sew it, and he's thinking, "Why isn't it fitting?" And he's thinking, "Is it because the head's swollen?" Because you know he's been messing about in it, and things
Yeah.
swell, don't they? And messed about
Yeah.
with. So he's messing with it. He's going, I don't understand this, and he's panicking a bit because the patient's awake and chatting and stuff, and you know it's difficult to have a normal chat when you're panicking a
I
little
know,
bit.
there's a queue as well. People want their brain done. And they're just reading old copies of magazines. They're going, hurry up.
So
I'm going out tonight. Do you want to wash it? No. Just I'll wash it later. Just take it off, do the brain, put it back on.
anyway, what happens is he has to start rummaging,
To start rummaging.
sort of rummaging.
Rummaging. No! There's no N before the first G. Rummaging.
Well, he starts looking through the. Starts having a look through the bin
Oh, what?
because he knows he's chucked a bit away of the skin.
Right. Where is this surgery where a bloke's sitting up in front of a mirror and there's a bin? Is there a little basketball ring above the bin as well? So when he throws things, it goes through there first?
I'm just saying that's what happened, and you were saying about things that happen, and you've got a joke about
So
it.
he's rummaging, and what happens?
He said to him, the fellow was starting to sense the nervousness, and he said, "What's going on here?" And he says, "Oh, I'm never going to believe it. I've lost a bit of your skin.
Lost a bit
and,
of your head, yeah.
I can't
Why did
sew."
he cut? I don't understand.
Because things just break up, don't they? It's like chicken. When you see him walking around, everything's in place and it sticks together. You cook it, suddenly it all breaks up.
He cooked his face before he cut it up.
I'm just saying how flesh, it sticks together well
Yeah, but
when...
he'd cooked the scalp before he'd taken it off his
No,
head.
but
hadn't
it's
he?
just an example of how
Oh,
skin
okay.
can break up with the muscles and
So
everything.
he's rummaging in the bin, and does he find the head?
He found the bit, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry about that," and he sort of managed to stick it on.
Right, he
and
didn't
stuff.
wash it off or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd give it a bit of a rinse. But I'm just saying how,
Nonsense.
you've got to make a joke out of stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, it's bollocks.
If you're a doctor.
Okay, that's good.
So where was the joke in that story? At what point I thought this was a story
Well,
about how doctors have a sense of humour.
Yeah,
when
well,
did
he did.
he
At
make a
the
joke?
end, he sort of laughed and he sort of said, "Oh, there you go, it's back on." But good job, the bin men didn't come or whatever, and they made a joke out of it.
I've never heard such nonsense. I've never
Carl just
heard
made that
such
joke up.
nonsense. Right, Carl, let's do a competition. Chance to win some of the product that we've got out that Carl doesn't want to talk about because he's too lazy.
No, it's not that. If it's,
Well, if you do want to win a copy of this book, Ricky Gervais presents The World of Carl Pilkington. It's by all three of us, and it's some of the musings and thoughts and ideas from the podcasts. Carl has got some new theories. It's illustrated throughout.
By Carl Pilkington.
By Carl Pilkington. It's got excerpts from the diary. They're genuine, aren't they? They're photostated things from the diary that people haven't seen, and it's fascinating read.
We can sign that. We can also give you a copy of this new 3-disc set CD of